Upon returning to Ireland, having completed his training and education and being ordained a priest in Rome, Archbishop Oliver travelled to his diocese, where he received an overwhelming welcome from the populace, having arrived in time for the Holy Week and Easter ceremonies. Having arrived back in Ireland at a time of harsh religious persecution, he felt it important to remain as unnoticed as possible, and this involved wearing a disguise. One of the most famous stories associated with this was his Captain Brown disguise, wearing a uniform complete with sword and pistol as befitted an officer, on one occasion breaking into song in a tavern so as not to give away his disguise. Within 2 months of Oliver returning to Ireland, a new, more liberal Viceroy Berkeley, replaced the more hardline Robartes, meaning that the climate of toleration soon changed for the better. So at last, Oliver could now discard the disguise and proceed with his work in a more open manner while maintaining a certain degree of caution. This was to mark the period in which he would experience his greatest freedom in Ireland, which was to last for a period of approximately 3.5 years. Oliver promptly set up his headquarters, alternatively in Ballybarrick and Ardpatrick, just outside Dundalk, these areas being central in the diocese, and also in a rural area, where locals could possibly warn him of any approaching search parties. It is said that an ancient oak tree remains today, in which Oliver is reputed to have hidden on occasions to avoid capture at Ardpatrick. Oliver led the faithful in prayer, administering the sacraments, and preaching the good news to them, all in their native Irish language. Towards the latter part of 1673, the already visible dislike for Oliver became more aggressive. A renewed sense of persecution formed, and the climate became perilous. Rewards were offered for the capture of important figures such as Oliver. He himself quoted it as being the time to take down the sails and seek shelter in some safe harbour. All bishops were ordered to go to the continent as exiles, and all the religious houses had been closed. With regard to fleeing the danger, Oliver emphatically refused to do so. He also pleaded that his fellow bishops stay with him, as he quotes, "For if captains fly, it is in vain to exhort the single soldiers to stand in battle." His oldest friend, John Brennan, now the Bishop of Waterford, hid with him in the hill country of South Armagh. Times were difficult now, and as a result of the poor weather, both suffered greatly. Despite the hardship, Oliver refused to leave his troubled homeland. He travelled the nation dressed as a layman, suffering from cold and hunger, saying Mass and confirming people in the open countryside.